crown. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back. So let's go root for the Rockies. If they don't win, it's a shame. 'Cause it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Yes, it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
Final home game of 2012 from the majestic Rockies. We go downtown. Still good hot dogs available. Welcome inside the beautiful ballpark at 20th and Blake. Rockies and Cubs this year will conclude the 20th campaign for the Rockies at home. They're 18th inside Coors Field. And good afternoon, everybody. Glad as always that you're along with us, not only today but all season long. With George Frazier, I'm Drew Goodman. Obviously, this season did not go the way anybody wanted to, who is a Rockies fan, a Rockies employee. But George, 33,000 basically a night still pour out, and we go to a lot of cities they would love to have for one game 33,000
Yeah,
folks.
Atlanta Braves would be one of those. I think the way we see down there all the time. You've got great fans here in this ballpark. You got very loyal fans in this ballpark. They're loyal to Root Sports. They're loyal to the Rockies, and we appreciate that. All of us do, and the Rockies appreciate what you've done this year. Has it been a bad year? You better believe it. But one thing that has not been bad is the fans at Coors Field. They continue to show on a daily, nightly basis to support their favorite Rockies. And this, again, this is a baseball city. Some people didn't think it would work. I hate to tell you, America, it's worked, and it's worked very well.
It's worked extremely well. And you know what? There's still thrills that the fans get to enjoy. The Rockies have played well the last 3 ball games. They have a very young nucleus, especially when it comes to position players. The one thing that has to happen, we've seen so much Lodo magic here through the years, George, that has to return on a regular basis for the Rockies to get back to where they want to be. This has to be a dominant home club.
No question about it, Drew, and it has to be, and it does start with the fans carried over, but the fans get inspired by the team and by what they do and how they win. And when teams come into this ballpark many years ago, they would sit and talk about, I don't like coming in here, because they know they're going to burn up a bullpen. They know these at-bats are going to get long, the games are going to be long, and all you got to do is out-pound them, and they were able to do that, and that's got to start again.
Well, you've heard of the 12th man at Kyle Field in College Station, Texas. There's the 10th man, 10th woman also here at Coors Field, and the Rockies players really enjoy it. When we come back, we'll talk about the pitching matchup this afternoon. Yoli Chassin will be on the hill. Rockies have an opportunity to sweep the Cubs. That would be a nice way to complete the home portion of the 2012 schedule. On the hill today for the Cubs, Chris Volstad, the former Marlin, and he had been struggling until he faced the Rockies about a month ago, George, and he threw out a gem.
6 2/3, 3 hits, no runs. Sinker ball guy that if he gets the ball down in the zone and you try to be aggressive with him, you're going to have a lot of quick outs, ground ball outs, double plays when the guys get on base. Jhoulys Chacín, 5 innings, 1 run against the Chicago Cubs in Wrigley Field. So these two guys matched up before, and it was a good matchup and good results on both sides.
Chacín and Volstad, the Rockies and the Cubs. Final home game of 2012. Sit back and enjoy it, everybody. Come on back to Coors Field with us. Colorado Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by your neighborhood Toyota stores. Toyota, moving forward by CenturyLink, fast speed and a low monthly price. Visit CenturyLink.com. And by Southwest Airlines, find our fares online only at Southwest.com. David DeJesus will lead things off this afternoon for the Cubs. He hasn't gotten a lot of PT because the Rockies threw a couple of left-handers, De La Rosa and Pomerantz, the first 2 games of this series. But with Chacín out there, the former Kansas City Royal will be in the lineup leading things off. Here's the rest of the lineup for Dale Swain. Darwin Barney again will bat second. Anthony Rizzo again will bat third. Then Soriano and Castro. Luis Valbuena, he'll play third, bat sixth today. Steve Clevenger will do the catching. Brett Jackson, who hurt the Rockies at Wrigley Field, he'll be in the 8-hole in front of Chris Volstad. Well, Chacín, George, figures to get one more start, the final game of the year down in Arizona, looking to build on what has been a pretty solid return to good health.
Well, since he came back from the disabled list, a record of 1-2, 318 earned run average. I think the other impressive thing, we're always talking about pitchers' success at Coors Field, the ability to pitch at altitude. He's one of those guys that has done that in his career. Second lowest earned run average all time at Coors Field with a 4.15. Jimenez leads it. Who do you think's third on that list? It might surprise you. Bung Young Kim.
Is that right?
Yeah, he's third on that list at 456. Cook, then De La Rosa.
BK. We haven't had a BK reference in a while. Young King gave up young Kim gave up Barry Bonds' 715th home run. Here's the 0-2 on De Jesus in the air to right field, and Matt McBride will retreat and make the catch. Let's take a look at the Rockies on defense this afternoon. Carlos Gonzalez and Dexter Fowler continue to be out, so it's Blackman and Colvin and McBride in right. The infield remains Nelson, Rutledge, LeMahieu, and Pacheco, and Rosario behind the plate. Count them up: 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to count all the rookies. 5, 6, 7 rookies again in the lineup tonight. Only Colvin and Chacin are not rookies. Actually, Nelson's not a rookie either, so that's 6. He's a very young player, but that's 6 rookies. Quickly, a 2-strike count on Darwin Barney. Should mention also Dexter Fowler is having an MRI on his left wrist today, and it's more of a precautionary deal. DJ LeMahieu will get an easy chance. 2 outs. Going into the offseason, George, you remember this as a player. It's clear mind, and there's also outgoing physicals to make sure you're going into the offseason and you're going to be able to train and not have some sort of injury that needs to be tended to.
Well, you don't want to leave the ballpark and not be 100%. They do it all the way through the minor leagues too. They have what they call their exit physical, where the doctors show up and they run a quick physical on you to make sure you are where you need to be.
Anthony Rizzo at the plate. Anthony 0 for his last 11. And he takes high, 2-0. A lot of different philosophies when you've been scuffling a little bit. 0 for 11 is not monumental, but some guys will take a strike, want to see some pitches at the plate, and other guys say, you know what, the first good one, they'll almost go into a pinch hitting mode. First good one, I don't want to get deep in the count, I'm going to fire at.
Well, I think for a lot of guys, it's all about confidence and past success. 0 for 11s don't bother you. 0 for 15s, because you know you can hit, you know you can come out of that.
Chacin, a 4-pitch walk after 2 quick outs. A lot of people, as Soriano comes up, George, probably wonder, how does a guy pound the strike zone, 2 straight hitters, and then can't come close to the zone with the very next guy? How does that happen?
A lot of that is the memory of what a guy's done against you and success against you. If you feel like he's got a lot of success, if you feel he's getting good swings, the guy had struggled in this series 0 for 15. That if you start to think a little bit about it, what has he done against me in the past? Rizzo against Chacin is 429 average with in his short time of facing Yolis.
Who wants tacos? Remember, if the Rockies score 7 or more runs during any game, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day. Do it between 4 and 6 and get your Rockies taco special. Well, he's got a taco on his head. He's got a baseball. He's got everything.
A little bit happy guy there.
Absolutely. Soriano takes that ball in the dirt. 1-1. This is as close. This is as close, George, as you will see to a shift with a right-handed batter. DJ LeMahieu's almost right up the middle, and you can see Rutledge. He's in the 5.5 hole.
Dead pull hitter. Fires quick at the baseball. Really quick hands. If you go to the inner half on him, make it difficult.
1-1, and so they put the shift on. It's a high fly ball down the right field line, and Matt McBride looking very comfortable out there. Hauls it in on the warning track. Good start for Chacin. We'll see the Rockies on offense when we come back. Bleed purple. How about that for end of season proclamation? We like it. Josh Rutledge will step up to lead things off for the Rockies. Here's the rest of Jim Tracy's lineup this afternoon at Coors Field. Charlie Blackmon, who hit a home run yesterday to the second deck. Jordan Pacheco, a couple more hits, got the average to 307. Rosario, Colvin. Chris Nelson's at 299. Look at his average since the break, almost 350. He's playing every day. Matt McBride, DJ LeMahieu, and then Chacin, who brings a 300 average into the ballpark this afternoon. Alan Porter's behind home plate, and he said Chris Volstad's first pitch is a strike. 20th start for Volstad.
Well, 20th start for Volstad, but and you see a lot of this. Ball's tapped. He'll beat this out. That equals out a lot of those line drives Rutledge has hit of late. Leadoff infield single. Volstad making his 32nd start of the year, and you go 32nd. Well, he spent 12 starts down at AAA. This is his 20th here at the big league level. He's thrown 172 innings on the year. Struggled mightily, 0 for 7 with an almost 8 earned run average to start the year. Since then, 3 and 3. So things are starting to get a little bit better. The last 3 years, the last couple of years have really been a struggle. 8 and 23 with an earned run average about 560.
He's been walking a lot of folks, George.
#1 draft pick by the Florida Marlins, right out of high school, came to the big leagues at an early age, had early success, and then has stumbled since.
Charlie Blackmon's had a lot of success here in the month of September. He's hitting .391, which is the 4th best average in the National League in September. The average list in September in the National League is led by Marco Scudero, Rocky's good friend, former teammate, hitting .413. Juan Pierre, former Rocky, hitting .408. Chris Johnson, George, who's never played for the Rockies, hitting .400, and then Blackmon. Nelson's at .359. Runner going, and no way they're going to get Rutledge. He could almost stolen that standing up.
6'8" guy on the mound, slow delivery to the plate. It makes it almost impossible for Clevenger to have a shot at it.
7th bag for Josh Rutledge, and keep in mind, for about 3 weeks, maybe even longer than that, he really hasn't been able to run because of the quad. He is going to steal 20, 25, even 30 bases, I think, in the big leagues. And there's the bunt by Blackmon. It's a beauty, and Volstad's throw's not going to get it. Charlie Blackmon with another bunt single. Terrific play, first and third, nobody out here in the opening frame for the Rockies.
Well, it serves 2 purposes. You advance the runner at second into scoring position, and if you place it properly with a third baseman playing back, it gives you a chance for a base hit with Charlie's speed out of the left side. So that it all worked well on this play. Now your third baseman standing about even with the bag, and as they get off to get to the baseball, he calls off the third baseman. Probably not a smart choice to have a chance at Charlie at all. He beats this by a lot.
We've seen that element of his game on display quite frequently lately as Pacheco steps in, and that gives you, if you're Jim Tracy, an option that he's utilized Blackmon in that 2 spot in the lineup. Another guy that, listen, there's 3 guys right now that are involved, George, that all can hit second, and you don't have any qualms about it. Pacheco obviously can do it. Rutledge has done it a lot when Dex is healthy. And Charlie Blackmon.
All 3 of these guys, well, they move the baseball around the field. They're not just dead pull guys. They're not just somebody that's going to hit the ball to the right side. They hit to situations.
Talking to Jamie Quirk, the bench coach for Dale Swaim and with the Rockies for a number of years. Very impressed with the Rockies' young players. Position players in particular.
Well, sure, you have to be. I mean, think about it. 33 losses or 32 with 5 runs scored. The way they swing the bat, play the game. They're taking advantage of an opportunity, to be quite honest, with the injuries to Dexter, the injuries to Cargo, Tulo, where guys haven't played. Kadire, they haven't got to play because of those injuries. Those guys I just mentioned, you're talking about people that are going to be a huge part of this for 150 games. They haven't been able to do it.
This ball's hit to deep left field. Soriano going back. Take a good look. You won't see it for long. 3-run jack for Jordan Pacheco. And make it a 10-game hitting streak to boot. Get the fountains going early. Number 5 on the season for Pacheco.
An elevated sinker is going to go a long ways, and that's exactly what he got. Inner half about belt high, and it pulled the trigger very quickly on the pitch. And all Soriano could do is watch it fly along with the other fans here in the ballpark as Pacheco put them on top 3-0 early in this game.
Here's Willeen Rosario. George, I don't even think the pitch he ends up swinging, that's a strike. Watch where this ball tails into.
Then watch what he does with his hips. See how everything's so wide open here on his hips? Front side, but he keeps the front leg closed up. And that's part of why he had that success and generated bat speed on this thing.
Last night with Chris Nelson eclipsing the 50 RBI mark, you know, for a player, that's a significant number. Jordan with those 3 ribbies now at 52.
It is a big number to get over 50. Now you start, you know, the game's left. I'd like to get to 60. I didn't really see a very good shot at that. You'll see what Drew's talking about. This ball's going to be on the inner half. They wanted it away, but because of the elevation, it becomes a very flat sinker and makes it a lot easier to hit.
Good piece of hitting there by Pacheco. Here's the 1-2 in the dirt. Clevenger keeps it in the neighborhood. 2-2. Beautiful start for the Rockies. They won last night 6-0 in a ball game that was interrupted for almost an hour and a half by rain in the 7th. 3-2. That shutout was the Rockies' 2nd at home this year. Their 7th on the season.
Indication of what Pacheco has been able to do in his second half. 35 RBIs when put into that position.
There's going to be a tough chance for nope, safe there. Tough chance for Valbuena. And even if Castro fields that, George, I don't think they're going to get Willeen. We talk about Willeen's ability to run better than you think.
Oh, absolutely it is. Everybody's, because you're stunned a little bit by the big swing, so then it allows you to, you're going to sit back that one instant that gives you a little bit more. And if you think about what the Rockies have done in the first inning, they have 4 hits on the board. 3 of them haven't traveled more than 90 feet. 1 traveled 410 feet.
And you can see clearly he's safe. Good call by Jim Reynolds at first. Nobody out. Tyler Colvin at the plate. Rosario, folks, 15 for his last 25 at the plate. That'll keep you in the lineup.
14 pitches, 3 runs, 4 hits. How's Volstead doing so far?
Not real good. Remember, this guy, as George mentioned to you, he threw 6 1/3 shutout innings at the Rockies when they saw him at Wrigley. Keeping you abreast of the wild card races and the division races. Todd Frazier, a prime rookie of the year candidate, George, in the bottom of the 9th inning, just hit a home run to tie that game up between the Reds and the Brewers in the 9th inning at 1. It's a really good rookie class.
It's a great rookie class, and it's not one of those rookie classes that's going to disappear. You know, a lot of times you see guys that have 1 or 2 years and then they're out of the game. Or they're down in AAA. They're bouncing up and down. There's a lot of guys in this class that's going to play in the big leagues for 7 to 10 years.
Volstad fires to second, on to first, double play. Time now for this afternoon's Chevy's Dare to Compare. Chevy's full lineup of vehicles makes it a clear winner that the competition can't compare. Chevy, made for Colorado. National League batting average since August 6th, minimum of 150 ABs. It goes Marco Scutaro, Chris Nelson, then Buster Posey, Ryan Braun. Those two guys are battling for National League MVP. Luis Cruz, the third baseman for the Dodgers, doing a nice job as well. But again, this isn't a situation where we're throwing a batting average at you for a guy that's, you know, a part-time player. Nelson's playing every day.
Playing every day, and he's handled third base very well also.
Look out.
Nobody likes the ball coming in. I think it's more of a slider than it was fastball. Maybe not. That ball had a lot of run the opposite field. Catches Chris right above the belt line. You'd like to take it to cheek, to be honest, folks. It's not going to hurt nearly as bad as that shot right into the ribs. It got Chris pretty good.
That's the face of a guy that just got hit. And he's out at first. Wow. So Volstad hits Nelson and then picks him off. But the Rockies get 3 in the first frame against Chris Volstad. Hits by Rutledge and Blackman, and then a Jordan Pacheco 3-run home run.
It's the year of the fan. It's kind of like the last day of school, so I thought I would talk to some of the fans. This is Jamie. How are you?
Good. How about you?
I'm good, but you're confused because I've been seeing you here at Coors Field for years.
Yeah.
Originally, you were a Garrett Atkins fan, right?
That's right.
And then you went to Ian Stewart. Turn around, show the guys. Ian Stewart. So that's why you have Cubs garb on, too.
Right. It was for Ian. Ian and Manuel Corpus, because he was also one of our relieving pitchers.
Manny's on the Cubs.
Right. He is, and he's a great guy, too. He signed a shirt that I had this morning from him.
Well, how about picking the current Rocky and losing the Ian Stewart?
I have Rockies players that I like, too.
Like who?
Matt Belisle, Rex Brothers, Jordan Pacheco, Charlie Blackman. I have four.
Well, next time I see you, I want it to just be all Rockies. You got the Rockies earrings on. You got the necklace. I know you like Ian, but you can lose the Cubs shirt, all right?
All right, I promise.
There's Colvin making a catch behind us in center. Drew, George, back to you guys.
She's got everybody covered. There's nothing wrong with that.
She's a fan. That's the best part about it. She's a baseball fan.
Baseball fan. Just because a player leaves your organization doesn't mean you can't still be a fan of that player. And
well,
you know
I hope
what?
you would be.
Yeah, and Ian Stewart, good guy. He's
Really,
struggled the last
you
few
know,
years. Great family.
Most guys that go away to another ball club and they come back and the fans really appreciate and do what they think, and it's because that guy made some fans' day pretty special.
Yeah.
May have just signed a. What happened to those two?
Well, they're getting along fine. Well, maybe not.
She's got a big stick and he's.
See, they're chatting away. They're fine.
I don't think they're fine.
No, I think they're fine. One ball, one strike. So why wouldn't you be a Cub fan? I mean,
I don't get it. Thinking of all the history of what we have, she's got a broom for the sweep today.
honey, really? Did you have to bring the broom and really rub it in? That's a look of somebody who forgot something. Here's the 2-1, and Valbuena with a base hit to left field. So Luis Valbuena with his first action in this series, singles with one out. Steve Clevenger will come up. Clevenger, solid spring training. Looked like he was going to play quite a bit with Giovanni Soto. Soto was traded away. Clevenger faded offensively. As we've discussed, the guy that came on was Wellington Castillo. I like the way he swings the bat.
Swung well against the Rockies first two games of this series.
Off the corner. One ball, one strike. Oh, knocked down by Chacin. Got to get the out at first, and he will. Didn't Chacin in his last outing have one ricochet off the glove and he caught with his bare hand?
It did, and actually came out of the glove, flipped up into the air. He caught it, made the out with it. This ball hit right back at him. Quick reaction to it. Hit so hard, came out of the glove, and then he picks it up and able to recover and get Clevenger. All about reaction. 60 feet, and by the time you release it, you're a little less than that at about 54 feet.
Brett Jackson. Jackson has scuffled 2 for 30 in September, but he didn't scuffle when the Rockies were at Wrigley Field. He had a great series against Colorado, hit a couple home runs. That's a strike also. 0-2 on the former first round pick, 2009 out of Cal Berkeley. A guy in the minor leagues, George, that hit with some power and also can run.
Great combination to have if you can maintain it, but then you got to have that same success at the big league level.
Yeah, he's got a base hit here. Coming on, it's McBride rounding third. The ball's bobbled by McBride. So scoring easily is Valbuena, and it's 1-0. Excuse me, 1-0. It's 3-1. As Valbuena scores the Cubs' first run.
Sinker down and away. That's a nice job of getting out front on that sinker. Don't let it get to the bottom of the strike zone and put a swing on it. Hits it out to right. McBride must have looked at the runner to see where he was position wise to where to go with this baseball.
Brett Jackson continues to swing it well against the Rockies. Volstad hits it slowly to third. Chris Nelson on the move fires to Jordan Pacheco. A run on 2 hits in the second inning for Chicago. The Rockies lead 3-1. McBride will lead it off. Reminder, join in on the conversation with Toyota Talk in the 6th inning. Text the word Toyota to 720-720. Text now and you'll be entered to win a one-year family membership to the Denver Zoo. Now, one of the things we'd like you to text on today, this has been the 20th season of Rockies baseball. 20-year anniversary season will be next year, but 20 years of baseball. What are your favorite moments all time as a fan of the Colorado Rockies? So we'll do that today in Toyota Talk, final home game of the year. Drew Goodman, George Frazier, and Mark Stout. Rockies will have Matt McBride, DJ LeMahieu, and Jolie Chassin here in the inning. McBride's got a 6-game hitting streak going. That's a strike. And you know what he has, George? He has a 7-game hitting streak. Seen a lot more of that from Matt. A lot of line drives.
Well, he hit 350 plus at the AAA level. That wasn't a fluke, because there was a lot of guys this year at Colorado Springs struggled with the humidor being put in. He just continued to hit line drives everywhere. 20, 40, and full season sweep packages are now available at the 2013 season. Call for more information. 303 Rockies. Reserve your sweep for the 2013 season.
George, that'll bring up DJ LeMahieu. DJ in this series is 5 for 6 and a walk. Overall against the Cubbies this year, 9 for 17. He's got the average at 293. That touches the inside corner. Rockies with a modest 3-game winning streak going. .34 and 46 at home this year, which is the worst record they've ever had at Coors Field.
Now, Doug always doing a little bit of extra work to find out about players, where they stand. 50 starts this year at second base for DJ LeMahieu, and he stands third right now among the second basemen in the National League. Barney leads his fielding percentage, and Mark Ellis at Los Angeles, and LeMahieu, Phillips, pretty good player, and Ackley in Seattle.
One and two count on LeMahieu. Eighth inning at Citi Field. The Mets 6 and the Pirates 3, and the swoon for the Pirates continues. They're now in the 9th inning in that ball game. Good news for Clint Hurdle. Made an announcement in the last 24 hours. Clint will be back, and should be. They're headed in the right direction. This ball is left up, and it's swatted to deep left field and gone. DJ LeMahieu sneaks one over the left field wall. His second home run, and it's 5-1.
Particularly this inning, Volstad has made mistakes twice on the 7th and 8th hole hitter in the lineup. And both times elevated pitches that have been ripped. McBride started it with the line drive, then LeMahieu really got one up in the zone. His second home run of the year. Now has 20 RBIs, hitting 8 the majority of the time. You see a hanging slider about belt high, and you could see Volstad's reaction after he released the baseball. Well, 6 2/3 of shutout baseball for Mr. Volstad at Wrigley Field. It has not been the same here at Coors Field. Yeah, it's only got to get over by an inch, and I think this might have been the inch. It hit right on that wall, and it shot up into the seats. Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo gives you a very good look at where that. Where's the guy with the glove that catches everything? Where was he at?
I don't know, but here's the deal. wait about 3 weeks if you're DJ, and when your buddies say, how'd you do, final home game of the year, give the crowd something to remember you. He said, yeah, I hit one up on the concourse.
On the third bounce, but it did get there. That's exactly right. Nobody's going to know. More importantly, how many guys in the Cub organization right now are saying to themselves, we traded these Steve guys, and why did we do this? Yeah. Needed a third baseman at the time, and unfortunately, Ian Stewart did not get to play many baseball games this year due to injuries. 55, I think, to be exact.
2-2 on Chacin. LeMahieu's now 11 for 20 against the Cubs this year. That's toward the hole. Another base hit for Chacin. Is it just me, or the last month the Rockies starters have swung the bat far better than we'd seen all year long?
Well, they haven't given bats away. I think that's the key to it. Volstad gets ahead and just continues to pound the fastball. And you know, nobody offered even at the slider but one time, and it was foul tipped. And then now Chacin gets his chance to build on his 300 average with this base hit to left field. Yolis now 333.
Well, if this continues, Volstad's not long for this ball game. He gave up 4 straight hits in the first inning. In this inning, he's given up 3 straight hits. Both innings, he's given up a home run. 3-run home run to Pacheco in the first, 2-run home run to LeMahieu here in the second.
Well, that's not over with yet. There's nobody out.
Rutledge swings and misses. Dale Swaim's eyeballing his pitcher right now. There's LeMahieu with McBride, and you know what, DJ on Tuesday could have used that big fly, because if you recall, he had a single, double, and triple on Tuesday. Never got the 4th at bat. Are you allowed to borrow from another game to produce a cycle?
No,
you can't do that. This is chopped up the middle, and stepping on the bag is Barney. Nicely done. He'll turn the double play. Charlie Blackmon coming up. There's McBride and LeMahieu. Charlie had a bunt base hit in the first inning. Valbuena shortened up. Last night, the opposite of the bunt base hit, the second deck shot.
Once again, mistakes are being capitalized by Rockies hitters. A ball up in the zone, and that's what should happen. You should be able to attack a ball in the zone and have good results.
Fouled off. Another 3-2, and that stays fair. 2-run home run for DJ LeMahieu. The Rockies extend their lead. It's 5-1. around baseball, and these are hot off the press, as they used to say. The Reds just defeated Milwaukee 2-1. Deoner Navarro, the walk-off ribby. And Detroit in first place beginning the day will stay that way. They're up a game and a half now on Chicago. Now Chicago, who's not been playing well, plays the hottest team in the American League. Later on today, they'll be taking on Tampa Bay on the south side of Chicago, and Tampa has won 7 straight. The Indians have dismissed Manny Acta, and Sandy Alomar Jr., who used to play for the Rockies briefly, will be the interim skipper. And the Astros have hired Bo Porter, who's the third base coach for the Washington Nationals. Bo's been a candidate for several jobs in recent history. The Astros signed him. He will stay with the Nationals through the postseason. But next year, when the Rockies get together with the Astros, the Astros will be in the American League. And I put this in quotations, the league has made the Rockies and Astros natural rivals, so they will play 2 games in Houston against the Astros, and then the Astros will come up here and play 2 against the Rockies, and it'll happen 4 consecutive days. Bo Porter, the new skipper of the Houston Astros. David DeJesus is gone on the first pitch of inning number 3 from Chassin. Darwin Barney will come up. Barney hit it on the ground to second.
Well, that was a lot of fun, Drew. I'm sorry I stepped away just for a second. An old teammate of mine, John Denny, pitcher with the St. Louis Cardinals. His son's working for the Rockies now as an intern, selling tickets here at the ballpark, trying to get in. Stop by the booth, say hi. Well, John pitched for the Cardinals for a long, long time, and then over to Cleveland.
John Denny was a heck of a pitcher.
He had a hammer, boy. I mean, he could throw a curveball like you couldn't believe. Some kind of curveball, good fastball change. I was just telling his son, I said, you won't remember this because you were a little kid then, but remember in '79 we're playing against Philadelphia. Philadelphia, a pretty good baseball team. And you start to think about all the guys that Philadelphia ran out there with Luzinski, Smith, Maddox, Bullock. And the great thing about it,
finish your story, George.
John decided to throw all fastballs and changeups, shut them out on the carpet in Philadelphia, and I started laughing. We were just telling his son about the story back here. I said, "Oh, your dad probably never shared this. I'll tell you how good your dad was." He told me one night, "I'm going to go fastball, changeup, do a 9-inning shutout. Never threw a curveball."
A lot of guys wish they could do that, huh? Hey, I'm going to eliminate my best pitch today just for grins.
Also had a pretty good fight with him when he was at Cleveland. Him and Reggie didn't get along too good.
1-1 on Anthony Rizzo, and he bounces it foul. 1-2.
123 wins in his big league career, a 359 earned run average. Led the National League with wins with 19 in 1983.
I would say this, and you know what? I'm going to have Doug look this up. I would say that winning 100 ball games for a pitcher is the equivalent to hitting 250 or at least 200 home runs in baseball. I wonder if there's a similar number. You win 100 ball games as a pitcher, you've had a nice career.
Yeah, I mean, there's some guys that obviously do it a lot faster. What's more shocking to me, when you sit back and think, when you get to the 200 plateau, the 250, and then you get into the guys that have won 300 games, how long they pitch to win 300. Clemens, Maddox, that's stupid. How long they played. Don Sutton, all those years.
Really going to be tough at this particular era. 3-2 is swatted a long way to right center field. Colvin is going to run out of room. Anthony Rizzo got a hanging breaking ball, and he hits it out. His 15th home run of the year. 5-2. First hit in the series.
trying to throw the slider, the same slider that he struck out Barney with. He tried to throw, but more in a downward part, and it just stayed up into the zone. Chased by Colvin, but it came up a little bit short as it got out into the Cub bullpen.
Fastball thrown by Alfonso Soriano. The fly ball to deep right, his first time. Thing I've noticed about Chacin, George, since his return from injury, one of the things, if you remember back, that's a good looking pitch.
He feels better.
Well, yeah, but Chacin's always had a lot of ability. League doesn't hit much against him. Never has.
Well, it's because he's got movement both sides, but I'm seeing velocity now too.
But you know what else you're seeing? Consistently, he's ahead in the count. 30 strikes.
Feels good.
30 strikes, 11 walks.
You know,
3 pitches, he strikes out Soriano.
When your arm feels good, you're going to have good results because it allows you to repeat your arm delivery.
Home run from Rizzo, 5-2. Of the third inning, they're leading the Cubs. Jordan Pacheco hit a 3-run home run. Will lead it off. Then Willeen Rosario and Tyler Colvin. Drew Goodman, George Frazier, Mark Stout. We've kicked Frazier out of the booth, which is never a bad idea. And we're joined by the Wyoming head football coach, of course, Dave Christensen. Dave, it's good to see you.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
I'm going to do a little, give you a little help with the microphone. There you go. You guys have a team on the schedule this week that every team needs from time to time. The old bye week. Get everybody healthy again, right? Get prepared for 10 days from now, huh?
Yeah, we did. We got a couple of extra practices in this week in preparation for Reno, and get everybody healthy, get them fresh, give them some time off, and then we got that second half of the stretch of the season of the conference games.
I love watching Smith play quarterback. I know he's been banged up a little bit. He was back last week. He gives you guys a chance to be real special offensively.
He does. He's just a tremendous competitor. It was tough when he was injured into the Toledo game, not having him there for the 2-minute offense at the end, and certainly at the end of the next one. And so he came back last week and at full strength. They had a tremendous game for us. We miss his leadership when he's out. Ability is what stands out most.
Unfortunately, right now, when you look up and down the Front Range, Air Force has had some success this year, but Colorado State rebuilding, John Embry's program at the University of Colorado rebuilding. You guys, in some way, shape, or form, are in that same mode. How tough is that for a coaching staff?
Well, every year you're going to have to replace players, and we lost some key players from a year ago, a number of players back offensively, but it's difficult because every year you're going to have to replace some guys, and in building a program, if you've recruited well along the way, then what you do is you just plug in the new guys, and we're getting closer to that. We've got more depth. There's a base hit.
This guy, Pacheco, he gets a lot of those.
Those are good things.
They are.
But, you know, so we're starting to develop more depth. I'm going to redshirt more players this year than we have since we've been there. And so we're pleased with the progress of the program. And, you know, a couple close losses, as I told the players, you know, a couple plays away from being 3-1 right now. And, you know, but as we know, winning's fragile. We could have, you know, had one play go differently last week. You'd be 0-4. So we're happy we got a victory, and we're looking forward to moving on and playing Reno in another week.
Reno is one of those programs that started to get a lot of attention a couple of years ago with quarterback. Now he's a backup with the 49ers. They're a team that produces a lot of talent.
They are. And the quarterback they have right now is a young guy like we have who's got great speed. They rush the ball well. Their tailback scored 7 touchdowns at Hawaii. So we know our work's cut out for us defensively. And, you know, we going to have to do some things offensively to try to outscore them.
I've noticed the last few years you've done a nice job recruiting in this state, and of course you're right up the road, right over the border, and you've picked some nice kids out of Colorado. In fact, Mitch Unrein is I have a radio show, and Mitch has been on with us a few times, doing a great job.
Yes, he is.
Colorado kid, walks on in Wyoming, and as I say to him, I say you walked on in the NFL, and now all of a sudden you're a rotation player on a defensive line for a really good football team.
Well, you know, Mitch is just a tremendous young man who had phenomenal work ethic for us, and it's carried on, and it's why he's having the success he is in the NFL.
Yeah, but you've done well in the state.
We've got a number of kids from the state, and you know, we want to, you know, our population is such that we don't have a huge population up in Wyoming, and so this is to us is a local area, and that it's important that we can come down here and you know, draw kids from this area. And I think we have a lot to offer them up there. It's close to home. They can get back and forth. Their family can see them play, and they can be in a winning program.
Good conference, tough conference to play in. There's so much shuffling around now, as you well know, Dave, in college football. But I'm partial. I've been out here a long time. But I think that the schools in the Mountain West, and you go back to the old WAC, they never fully get their due back east until a big name program all of a sudden lines up with them, and then everybody sees them at the end of the day. Wait, Wyoming Cowboys beat who?
Well, you know, it is a great league, and there's good coaches in the league. Obviously, there's great football players in this league. I like the developments that have happened. You know, we're going to add a couple more teams next year, and I think it's a solid conference, and it's going to continue to be that way.
Yeah, we're going to have you on the tube, I think, a couple of times on Root Sports. We're looking forward to that coming up later on in the fall. I have to ask you, in fact, I'd be remiss if I did not ask you, is the Cowboy, as we call him, Tracy Ringlesby, how much of a pain in the neck is he? Well, just being around the program all the time. Is there times you got to kick him out of practice?
No. You know what? Tracy is a real behind-the-scenes guy, and just a tremendous supporter of mine and of our program. And you know, he loves Cowboy football and Cowboy athletics, University of Wyoming, the state of Wyoming, and so there we go, another big hit.
Colvin with a base hit, first and third with one out.
But no, Tracy's great. He was up in Moscow with us last week, and I got a chance to see him after the game. Certainly was excited as I was to get a Cowboy victory.
See, look at it on the front of his computer. There's the Cowboy logo.
Yeah, this is the bucket horse.
Here's the thing, and I don't know if you're aware of this, Dave, because you got a ton of things on your plate. So after wherever you all are playing on Saturday, whether it's at War Memorial or somewhere else in the country, when he gets back with us on Sunday, he can't talk a lick. He's worthless. Now, he's worthless anyhow, but I mean, we say that with affection. But you can't hear him because his voice is completely shot.
That's probably because he's helping me with the officials.
And you read his tweets, don't you?
Yeah, you can't speak softly when you're speaking with him because it's so loud. So that's probably why he's losing his voice. And I've had to do that a few times myself.
You haven't had replacement refs, have you?
No comment. I'm not allowed to say anything,
so I don't want to get you in trouble.
I'm not going to give any comments whatsoever. We've had very few Mountain West Conference officials in the games that we've played yet this year. So.
Yeah, I will say this: don't comment. But I know after the Toledo game, he couldn't speak for 4 days. I'll leave it at that.
Thank you, because that'll just keep me out of trouble.
That's right. Nope, not getting
that
in
is
trouble.
one you don't want to get me started on.
Hey, recruiting-wise,
yeah.
And as I said, I've been out here for a long time. I've covered you guys in football many times, and one of the stories that I always like to tell is the uniqueness of recruiting to Laramie, Wyoming, because there's a lot of kids, especially when you go into urban areas. It's a distinct departure from what a lot of kids are used to.
It is, and as you know, we talk about within our program, we're most of the time going to be the furthest and coldest of any place that a kid that we're recruiting is going to look at. But we have a lot of unique things there to sell. We want the right fit in our program, the right type of young man that's going to fit well into our community, that's going to be strong academically, and is extremely competitive and wants to win at a high level. If you fit that bill, then we'll bring you on a visit. And then when you come up there, what you see is what you get. We don't try to pretend we're something we're not. One young man said to me last year, Coach, I said, how's your visit going? He goes, it's real good. Only concerns is the distance a little bit and the weather. And I said, well, let me tell you something. I can promise you this. If you come here, it'll be the same distance and the same weather. It's not going to change. This is what it is, and that's what we sell. We've got a great community, a great fan base, a phenomenal facility, strong academics, great kids in our program. And so if that's what you're looking for in your experience, then I think University of Wyoming's a great fit.
How far out do you go? I mean, I know you were big in Texas in the past. I think in this region you have to be. California, it seems more and more program, not just, it used to be Notre Dame recruited nationally, maybe Southern Cal recruited nationally, Ohio State a little bit. Now it seems like every program they'll pick a kid out of Jersey, a kid out of Florida. Is Wyoming the same way?
Yeah, we've signed kids, I think, from 19 states.
There's a base hit, another ribby for Nelson. Coach, just sit where you are. We kick Frazier out, and the rally continues.
Well, I should be down here more often.
Absolutely, anytime.
Well, we've signed kids out of 19 states. I think I've got 4 or 5 kids from Germany on the team. Kid punter from Australia, guys from Samoa.
Did you say Germany?
Yeah, we got 4, I think 4 or 5.
Are they U.S.
kids.
military kids?
No. They play club sports over there, and
really,
yeah,
that's interesting.
So we'll go anywhere and everywhere that we can get the right fit that fits into our program and recruit them. So 19 states, 3 foreign countries, or maybe we're up to 4 now. We'll go anywhere.
So you're going down and getting those Aussie rules punters, huh?
Yeah, we got one of them. That's enough for now.
you know what? They're going. If you go down there, you're going to be tough kids.
You know what? He may be one of the toughest punters I've ever been around. Got him in the off-season program, and he got after a couple guys.
Is that right?
In combat stuff that we've done. So, yeah, he's a tough kid, got a strong leg.
Yeah, by the way, here's when you'll be able to see the Cowboys on Root Sports. That'll be a great matchup against Coach Calhoun's team. Down, it'll be a War Memorial when you take on the Air Force Academy, October 20th. That'll be a tough one at Fresno. I think the folks in Boulder know how talented Fresno State is. And then home against San Diego State the latter part of November, right around Thanksgiving.
It's we're excited to be on the air and to have a chance for our fan base to watch us in other areas, and those are 3 really big football games for us.
Let me ask you this: the coaching fraternity tends to be close, but once you're in the middle of the season, you're taking care of all the things that you have to with your program and with the media requests like this. How often do you visit with the Calhouns and the Embrys, and now Coach Fairchild is gone, but with Coach Mack up in Fort Collins, do you guys have relationships? There's a sack fly that'll bring home the Rockies' 7th run.
Not a lot during the season. I've got plenty of things that keep me occupied. Trying to prepare our football team and manage things within our program. In the off season a little bit, I'll see them at a convention or a clinic or something. But for the most part, particularly people that you're going to coach against there in your league, we're not going to sit down and talk ideas. I can promise you that.
Probably not. There's a long and rich tradition at the University of Wyoming in terms of coaches that have been there, and I know you're right in line with the folks that are your predecessors. Why do you think Wyoming's always attracted some of the better minds in the game?
First of all, I think it's in a state that the people are very dedicated fan base that care about it. It's a big deal to those people up there. From an administration standpoint, it's important to them that we build a strong program. And I just think that's kind of been the history there. It's a tough area. The people in the state of Wyoming, are blue-collared, hardworking, tough-minded people. And that's what we want our football team to be. And we're getting kids from, like I said, 19 different states, but we're going to teach them what being Cowboy tough is all about when they get into our program. And I think that's because that's been the mentality of that program and of that state, and that's why people have been successful at that.
And from people down here that have watched the Cowboys over the years, that is a very true statement. Coach, it's great to see you. We wish you all the best. Enjoy the bye week, and good luck next week against Reno.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
You bet. Dave Christensen, you'll see the Cowboys right here throughout the season.
To the fourth inning, final home game of the year. We're visiting with some of the fans, Drew, George, and everybody watching. The Vincent girls are here. They epitomize the Rockies fan. Now, this is Margie. Introduce your sisters.
And this is Flora. And this one is Juanita.
Now, could I ask how young you guys are?
Well, we're very young. Young at heart.
Young at heart. Yeah. How long have you been coming to Rockies games?
Since 1993.
Since Mile High Stadium.
Exactly.
And you are the pride of Section 204. We're above here in right field.
Right.
Who's your favorite? Who are your guys' favorite Rockies of all time?
Well, right now it's Todd Helton.
Todd Helton. Well, he's.
But in the past it was the Blake Street Bombers and Galarraga.
Galarraga, Bichette, Walker.
Yeah, Bichette.
So how many games do you get together for?
25.
25 every year.
And a couple more usually.
Okay, now, who's in charge of everything in terms of the tickets, maybe the driving, the transportation?
Well, we take turns.
Do you?
Uh-huh. Except her. She doesn't drive. She's always the passenger.
But Margie, you and Juanita still drive?
Yes.
Excellent. It's good to see you here at the park. The year of the fan has come to an end, but you'll be here next year, right?
Oh, definitely. Yes.
Drew, George, how about that, huh?
Yeah, well, listen, who still drives? Juanita?
Margie and Juanita on the end still drive.
Well, great, because Frazier's not a very good driver, so could you ask them to take Frazier to and from the hotel if they don't mind?
Have you ever watched the games and seen George Frazier doing the games on TV?
Yes.
George may need a ride to and from the hotel.
Okay.
You can help him out?
We'll be glad to.
Excellent.
Yes.
Drew, that's a go. Tell him.
Okay.
All right, you got it, Mark. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Margie. Great visiting with the Vincent girls.
That's awesome. They've seen a few games over the years. That's a nice story. Starlin Castro's at the plate in the fourth inning. Our thanks to Wyoming head football coach Dave Christensen. He fits the bill up there.
He's done a very nice job there. I've had the opportunity to see a couple of ball games.
gone to a couple of spring practices along with Tracy. Tracy's the only fan I know at Wyoming that also has a headset on during the game that has direct connect to all coaches.
No, he doesn't, nor should he.
No, but you'd think so. He
nice
gets into
try.
it now. He really gets into it.
Valbuena with a 1-1 count. He had a base hit his first time up. Yeah, how about this? More news and notes today. Pirates made a furious comeback, but they lost 6-5. R.A. Dickey, George, got the win. That's his 20th win of the year. So R.A. Dickey, the knuckleballer, that's going to send Doug in a tizzy trying to figure out the last 20-game knuckleballer or knuckleballer who won 20.
Well, I'm going to say his name was probably Negro or Huff.
Hey, listen, I got an old teammate for you right now.
Candiotti?
No, listen. The last Met, there's a base hit to center by Valbuena. Castro will stop at second. First and second, nobody out, with the Rockies up 7-2. R.A. Dickey's the first Met in 22 years to win 20 games. Who was the last? He's an old teammate of yours.
He is?
Yes. There's the 20-game winners. Gio Gonzalez with Washington, and Johnny Cueto's got a chance. He'll be the only other one with an opportunity. Left-handed, George. He's a New Yorker. I just gave it away.
You gave it away because he's a New Yorker?
He's a New York guy, and he won 20 with the Mets.
Played with a lot of guys from New York that were left-handed that were not Mets, though. I'm trying to think of who you're thinking it is. Who is it? You got me in suspense now.
Frankie Viola.
Oh. Sweet music, Viola. You got to be able to say it right. Frankie Sweet Music.
Teammate Minnesota.
He's actually a pitching coach now for the Mets.
Here's a double play ball. Rutledge got it there in time. He got taken out. 6-3 on the turn. 2 gone. Castro to third. And Brett Jackson coming up.
See where his second baseman is here. I think Rudd looked at it and said, I'm going to take it all the way by myself. And then here came the knee. And I mean, it's a clean sweep in the tag there to take a shortstop out of a double play. Rudd able to complete it.
Jackson an RBI single in the second. And Chacin with the fastball misses away at 91. Last knuckleballer to win 20, George, Joe Niekro. Late Joe Niekro back in 1980. Bunch of day games today. Texas in the 7th, beating Oakland 9-4 down in Arlington. Angels an early lead on Seattle in the 3rd, 1-0. Wild card could tighten up in the American League, the 2nd wild card spot. Time for today's CenturyLink high speed pitch. Fast speed, a low monthly price. Visit CenturyLink.com. Volstad 92, Chacin 92. Two guys that primarily throw the two-seam fastball or sinker.
Problem is, Volstad's sinker's been sinking in the outfield grass and over the fence.
Not where you want it to sink.
Not where you normally want to throw it.
Three 3-0 is the count. Brian LaHare is in the on-deck circle. And Brian LaHare will get to come up here as he'll pinch hit for Chris Volstad.
Well, we've talked an awful lot this year. We've shown you some things with our Exmo camera. Mr. Peters, Brian Peters, stick your head out. There he is. Does a wonderful job for us, picking up a lot of things all over this ballpark. And so we'd give you a couple of moments here. Here's the egg in the bat. Oh. Oh. See, I want to know where they shoot all this stuff. I see the Visqueen in the background. Who's the guy catching it? How's that? I don't know who's swinging that bat, but he's got a pretty good swing. Oh, Mike Fox. How much egg did you get on you, Foxy? Only a little bit, he says.
Did you wear a splatter resistant outfit? Wasn't smart enough to do that. First and third for Brian LaHare with 2 outs. Rockies up 7-2. Tacos for everybody tomorrow between 4 and 6 at your participating Colorado Taco Bell locations. Rockies trying to sweep the Cubbies. 3 in the first, 2 in the second, 2 in the third. Castro at third, Brett Jackson at first. A 1-1 count on Brian LaHare. LaHare has been relegated to pinch hitting duties of late. 0 for his last 7 with 5 punch outs. He was an all-star this year. Had a great first half. And a base hit to right center field for LaHare. That's going to score Castro, and Jackson will stop at third. It is 7-3.
Pretty good hitter. He was an all-star like Drew talked about. He likes the ball down in the strike zone. He got one too. 4th pitch offering was in that lower half and down, right where left-handers like it. He was able to drive that ball out into the outfield to score to advance runners first and third.
Bo McLaughlin is at the mound. David DeJesus is coming up. Chacin has gotten DeJesus twice. Oh, and 1 on DeJesus. Always looked at him, George, a pretty solid player. Not a
Very
star
solid.
level, not a star level player, but a solid big league outfielder.
He's a guy that can play. He's got the arm. He's got a little bit of speed. He's got some power. He can do some different things. I mean, it's just 8 home runs, 49 RBIs, 484 at bats.
Guys who hit in the leadoff spot this year, Dexter has the best on base percentage, 384, and then it's DeJesus at 361. And by the way, Dougie's completed his research. Remember I mentioned guys with 100+ wins, probably a similar number maybe to guys with 200 home runs. It's actually guys with 125+ home runs. Check this out. 583 players have won 100 games in their big league career. 596, 13 more have hit 125 home runs.
Wow.
Pretty interesting, huh?
That's very interesting.
It's kind of like the no-hitters and the cycles. Those two numbers are pretty close.
Yeah, Chachin about in that ball game with 2 outs at what Pomeranz was last night with a 7-3 lead. Pitch count at 64.
Close. 2-2. Real close. He The pitch on the forward strike zone.
So close, why didn't you swing? Really nasty pitch, inner half of the plate.
2 walks, 2 singles have produced a run here for Chicago. In the 4th, high fly ball to right field. Matt McBride waiting. So the Cubs get a run. It is 7-3 Colorado, middle of 4th. And Mark Stout. After watching the Rockies today, after watching the Rockies on Sunday, I thought today was Sunday. I'm all mixed up. Tune in for Rockies Weekly with Jim Tracy every week. Look for the keyword during the show and text it to 720-720. A chance to win some great prizes. You'll always hear from the skipper. It's Rockies Weekly with Jim Tracy this Sunday after the game. Tell me this didn't happen to you. I know it has and continues to in the game when you played and now as a broadcaster. When there's a day game, you usually think, oh, it's Sunday, and it kind of gets your clock.
You know what, as a player, it's like you're like a robot. You just know when to show up. You don't even know. Some guys, you can go in that locker room, I bet you 20% don't know what day of the week it is.
That's what happens. But when it's a day game, you always think, oh, it's Sunday.
They just check the outside board and it says, be here tomorrow at 10. Dressed on the field. Oh, okay. Day game.
Right.
It's part of that deal. It's like a lot of people used to say to me, what'd you do on this day, or what'd you do on this opportunity on a holiday? I played baseball. Wasn't anywhere else to go. Dolis back on the hill. He pitched the other day against the Rockies.
Rafael Dolis, 2-strike count on Chacin, who had a base hit in the 2nd inning. And he fouls this one off. Let's ask our AT&T trivia question. Rockies are hitting .305 at home this season. It's the best in the big leagues. What's the highest they've ever hit at home in a season? And I'm laughing because this is a really good question. Let's leave it at that. Chacin strikes out against Dolis, and that'll bring up Josh Rutledge. An infield hit, a stolen base, and a run scored in the 1st. He grounded into a double play in the 2nd. Volstad goes 3 innings. He allows 7 runs, all of them earned on 10 hits. He didn't walk anybody, which he'd been struggling with. He didn't strike anybody out, and he hit a batter.
Follow the Rockies on your iPhone with MLB.com At Bat 12 app featuring pitch tracking, highlights, and a whole lot more.
Rutledge hits this ball in the air to left center. Jackson moves over and makes the catch. That's the second out. And that'll bring up Charlie Blackmon, who's 1 for 2. That A's Rangers game now in the 8th inning, still 9-4. Josh Reddick's hit his 30th for Oakland. Now it's 9-5.
Rockies 10 hits in this ball game. So they have done that 8 straight games, according to Doug Marino and Baseball Elias, who calls Doug for stats.
What was that stat you threw out there?
WW. 8 straight games they've had 10 hits or more.
Pretty good run offensively. Strike on Blackmon. Cespedes has just hit a home run. It's 22nd to make it 9-5. Kinsler and Napoli home runs for Texas. Kinsler's 19th. Napoli is 21st. 0-1 on Charlie. 0-2 on Charlie. Coming up in the 6th inning, Toyota Talk. Here's what we're asking you today on Toyota Talk. Text Toyota, followed by a space in your comments. The comments today, we want your top Rockies moments. It's almost the conclusion of 20 years of Rockies baseball. And for all of you that were around in the early 90s, the thrill when you heard that Major League Baseball was coming to town. I remember that time frame very, very well, and it is hard to believe that the 20th season will be complete next Wednesday in Arizona.
What makes it hard for me to believe, starting here in '97, doing on a part-time with some games, is this is the 3rd oldest stadium in baseball in the National League. I mean, my gosh, you walk around this thing, it looks like it was built yesterday.
The only
Spotless.
the only two stadiums older in the National League: Wrigley Field, naturally, the home of the Cubs, and Dodger Stadium. But this place, I was thinking this last night because during the rain delay, George, I walked down the concourse. We're on level 2, the suite level, one of the suite levels, and walked to get my pension from Mocha's. I went out there and I'm looking around, and one of my sons was with me, and I said, it's amazing. The place is impeccable.
Yeah, it's very clean. You know, all the carpets are cleaned every single day. The bathrooms, anywhere you go in this stadium, it's a good experience.
2-2 on Blackmon. And Charlie hits it in the air to Brett Jackson. Good inning for Dolis. First time the Rockies have not scored in a frame so far in the ball game. They're up 7-3. 2012, and then we're off to Los Angeles for 3 and Arizona for 3 to complete this, the 20th season of Rockies baseball. Darwin Barney's going to lead it off in the top of the 5th inning. We want to thank our family, our television family here at home, because some of us do travel and bring you Rockies baseball on the road, and there's a number of great folks who are our home family, and then they're off doing other events, football and basketball and hockey, etc., that we want to thank for another great season. They've been with us. Many of these folks that we're going to mention have been with the Rockies for 20 years, bringing you baseball. We're going to start with our executive producer and director, Ken Miller. And of course, our producer we mention on a regular basis, Mike Fox. Tavis Strand also. He's on the ground to second. And Trout in the truck, not Steve Trout, a former teammate of
Jim Armentrout
of George's. Yeah. Jimmy Armentrout in the truck. Our technical directors, TDs in the business, Steve Rollins and Gabe Bell. Are we going to show that shot of Gabe? Did you see that off there last night of Gabe singing?
No, I'm directing. No, we're not.
You're not showing that? I thought that was pretty funny. In audio, Jeff Gulberg, John Mickety, who's a great singer. Lou's up here. Lou Turner? Lou's not with us right now. He's running around. He's been with us forever. John Gore's been around forever. Art Pankoff, I've worked with since the 80s in this business. He handles video with Dale Kirstein. In tape, Javi Prieto. Javi just missed. Javi's with us on the road. Danny Redden, Jack Hinkle, John McEwen. Derek Mooneyham is with us quite a bit on the road as well. He's the score bug guy. That's what it's called. See that up in the left-hand corner? He's in charge of always getting the base runners and the count and the score. 2-0 count is going to make it a 3-0 count. In graphics, Susan Strand has been doing the Rockies since she was 16, I believe. And I'm not lying. And Susan's with us all the time on the road as well. Krista Keibel. Krista's with us quite a bit also. And then the cameras at home. Sam is family up here in the booth. We're not going to show him because he's camera shy. Those that have watched Rockies baseball for years, George, you know that Sammy does not want to be seen.
Yep, Sam doesn't want anything to do with it. Dougie, part of the family up here also. We'll get to Marino. Stevie Brown's been shooting in this town forever. Brian Peters just picks his camera up, tucks it under his arm, and walks wherever the next shoot is. Get a shot of BP in a moment. Bo McWilliams, our tennis expert, low first. Soriano at the plate. Drew Anderson. Drew, is he running slash today, Mike? There's Drew out in right field. Not a baby Drew. He and Marino getting a lot of trouble together. Nick B. Where's Nick today? Nick's out and about. And then of course there's two guys who just go by their nickname, Woody and Speedy. They got the RoboCams. And again, if you followed us through the years, you know all about John Wood and Jeff. Crash is one of our handheld guys, and also he's on the RF camera today, as we call it, running around with Mark Trout. Mark Stout. You called him Trout.
Did I call him Trout?
His name's
Mark
Stout. He was
bad.
one of your classmates at Ithaca.
I know.
You're the same age. Been friends for 35 years. Stout.
Stout. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead.
Roger Meeks. Utilities, Russell Cunningham, Chris Seiler, Joe Connolly. Tech manager Chad Wachs, who's also one of our outstanding firemen in the region. There's Brian Peters. There's Roger on the left. There's BP. See what I mean? Brian, you going to flex for everybody? Pick that camera up just for gigs. There you go. Brian's really excited. He
looks good for a guy 65.
Yeah.
He really does.
No, Brian's excited because he just got 225 for a double earlier today. It's a new record for him. All right, I'm sorry. What was it, 450? Bo, get out from behind that camera. There you go. Yeah, if you ever want a tennis game, here's what you do. Go down to Wash Park and Bull be standing there. If you don't even have a racket, he'll hand you one of his. There's Stevie. I call him Stevie Ray Vaughan. There's Steve Brown. These guys have been the best in the business for a long time. In our EICs, Travis Swenson, Josh Winter. That's engineer in charge of those enormous trucks that our guys work at.
Have you ever ridden in one of those when they move them?
Yeah, you know what? Many years ago, George, we were doing the Junior College World Series in Grand Junction, where the Grand Junction Rockies are now. And we were finishing up on a Sunday night, and I had an early flight Monday out of Denver doing another ball game, and so I went with the truck. It's a base hit, the center, and everybody's going to move up 90 feet. So the bases are loaded here with one out. Jim's doing everything he can to get Chassin a victory in this ball game.
77 pitches right now. You're exactly right. I mean, he's trying to do what he can do. 48 strikes. Josh Outman, the lefty, is up. It's whether Jim makes that decision. Bob will go to the phone to find out if he's ready to go or not. So you were going to get to Marino.
Well, no. Well, anyhow, I will. But anyhow, so I rode in the back. Neil was driving. Neil, I got to drive in the sleeper and caught a few hours. Neil woke me up and said, "Hey, get on the plane, get out of here."
I mean, I really can't believe he didn't drive. I can't believe he didn't let you drive.
There's no way you wanted me driving that thing. Valbuena at the plate, and a guy that travels with us and is truly such a huge part of what we do every night. I don't know where we'd be without him. Doug Marino.
Yeah, Dougie's special. There he is. No, wait a minute. Wait. Go back to that, please. I need that shot again. I got to explain something. That is not Doug. That is Doug.
Really?
Yeah. The guy with
you think they needed that clarification?
And yeah, they do. Yeah. You guys kind of look alike. He's just got more hair. That's all it is.
Something like that.
No, you guys look alike. Put your glasses on, Doug. Come on. Doug also does a lot of producing of football and basketball in the offseason.
He's juggling three things right now. He's got baseball stats out the gazoo, and he's getting ready for soccer and football in the next 4 days. So he will be busy. And there's Sammy hiding behind his camera. We're not going to show you Sam. Sammy's been in the witness protection plan for a number of years.
You know, that's a good point. Mike Fox, our producer, just said he's like Wilson from Home Improvement. He talks to you over the camera.
Anyhow, George, and you do this well. A big thank you to all the hard-working men and women on our broadcast, home and road.
I think Sam and I first game we worked together was the Big 8 tournament, maybe in 1989. May have been Oklahoma State, Oklahoma in 1988. So they are family. We've all been together for a very long time.
And that's fouled off. Still 1-2 on Valbuena. Another 1-2. Come back, he can go home with it. Got a hustle. You know what? He did a really good job, George, of not panicking once he didn't pick it up cleanly
that
twice.
Could have been ugly.
He did not panic. It should have been a double play. He knows that. But he made sure. A lot of guys would have fired that to the backstop after they mishandled it.
Yeah, and again, Wallin catching a big guy bearing down on him, Rizzo, when he came in. Bobble goes to get it out of his glove, makes sure it's set, then an offset. And then you can see Rizzo coming in at 6'4", 220, taking the legs out from Rosario, thinking, I'm going to try to prevent any throw over. And that's why he went after Wallin on that front side. You know, Wallin has battled ankle problems anyway with that right ankle, and here he gets it kicked pretty good. You're lucky that didn't end up in a bad way, both ankle and knee.
Roddy Garrett will walk with him to the plate.
You can see a little limp there as he's walking back. Now it'll be a matter of the walking part's the easy part. Squatting down and putting the balance and the weight on that is going to be a different thing.
He's not coming out. How many catchers you ever see go, you know what, I can't go? It doesn't happen.
Well, right now, Yolis is trying to finish this inning up, clean it up.
He's got to refocus, George. He had a double play comebacker. Should have been a 1-2-3 double play, but now there's 2 outs. Clevenger at the plate. Good breaking ball. Strike 1. Drew Pomeranz 5 shutout innings last night to get his 2nd victory of the year. Chacin trying to put himself in line for a W. Bases full of Cubs with 2 outs. Ground ball to first, nicely done. Pacheco will go to the bag, and Chacin works out of that mess. He is now the pitcher of record. Rockies up 7-3.
This is one of my favorites, just so you know that we're giving you some ideas and the capabilities and how cool it can look at times. Hi, Russell. How you doing? Well, wait a minute. What's he doing today? Got the radio on. He got everything working. Got his Colorado hat on.
He's chilling.
Yeah, that's big time chill. Yeah, this is real speed right here. Okay. All right, there's Nick in a water balloon. All right, here it comes again, slow motion.
Why is Russell always the guinea pig?
Exmo and whack. I think that's a beautiful thing. Sammy, what do you think? Huh? Oh, nice. Reverse it, please. Can you reverse it? Let me reverse it. Reverse it. Reverse it again. Okay, do it again. Kawhi.
Wait, dude, that is really cool. Now go backwards again and then forwards. I like that.
See, he's trying to look through that little bitty area right here to see the balloon coming. He can't see it. He doesn't know when it's coming.
Did they tell him that was coming also? They let him know about the silly string, but I think you ought to do that next year.
I'll do it. Spray the stuff and hit him with a balloon. I'll do that all day long.
Clean up nice, Russell.
Because here I am watching the game, having fun, and y'all are chasing me around the ballpark.
Some people out there, young people getting out of college or in college saying, you know, I really want to work for Root Sports. Wait a second, is that how they break everybody in?
Here you go. How about taking it off right here? This worked out well. Well, that's kind of like when the gum sticks. Yeah, you just pull it and when all of it comes together.
That's one of my favorite segments of our little program here.
Oh, we have more coming.
Oh, is that right? There's
there
more
will
tonight?
be a couple of more. Yes, sure will.
That's another habit we get, and I said tonight, we're so used to doing night
Day
games.
game.
It's day, you say night.
Typically, well, the lights are on right now. That's confusing.
Jordan Pacheco's 2 for 2. Fouls this pitch off, and it's a 2-1 count against Rafael Dolis.
Ottavino's warming up, so pretty much the day's over for Dolis Chassin. A decent day, 7-3 lead here after 5. And a couple of guys going now, Altman and Ottavino. Altman was getting loose to get out of the last inning.
3-1 on Jordan. Jordan needs 500, as any player would, 502 plate appearances to qualify for a batting title. Now, he's not going to win a batting title, but he has an outstanding chance of finishing in the top 10 in hitting in the National League. He's going to be in there every day. Jim Tracy said that. He's been in there every day anyhow, but he's not getting a day off. He said, I'm going to give him as many opportunities to get those remaining at bats as possible. He's pretty close.
You know what I want to do? I want to answer trivia. Listen, you want to answer trivia?
Yeah.
Do you know the answer to trivia?
Yeah, I do.
Did you read it?
No, we talked about this yesterday, Doug and I.
Yeah.
Where were
ahead.
you? This is amazing. The Rockies hitting .305 at this season. It's the best in the big leagues. What's the highest they've ever hit at home in a season?
.341, I bet. You want to bet?
I think it's .343, and it was back in 1996. And that's crazy. Now, it was the pre-Humidor days, but it's .305 average this year. Some people thinking back to the pre-Humidor days. The Phillies in 1930 hit .344 at the Baker Bowl, which is the best ever. George broke in his first ball game in the big leagues. He's pitching at the Baker Bowl.
I guess everybody's going to be safe in Pittsburgh. Say Clint's okay. The general manager's going to be okay, but I'm not sure about the farm director. When he hired the Navy SEALs, one of the top prospects blew out a shoulder carrying a telephone pole on a beach.
This is looped into right center field. A base hit for Rosario.
He's not running very good. Watch him go up that first baseline.
Second hit of the afternoon for Wheeling.
Yeah, trying to check this out a little bit. Watch that ankle that got hit a little bit. See what he does here. Recognize that that ball's going to fall in, and let's take it this way.
Rockies with 11 hits. They've produced 7 runs. Tyler Colvin had a base hit and a run scored in the third. He's 1 for 2. Rockies now have 10 or more hits in a game 71 times this year. 11th time in 12 home games in the month of September. The last time a team hit 300 or better at home, it happened twice in 2007. The Angels hit .305 at the Big A, and the Yankees hit right at 300 at Yankee Stadium. Colvin took one of those half swings and then whipped around as if to say, I hope he didn't see that. Did anybody see me swing?
He did. Unfortunately. So now you're in an 0-2 count.
You know, the Rockies hitting 300 at home. That was a regular occurrence the first 11 years at Coors Field. But it has not happened at Coors Field since 2005. And there have been some great years at home. We all know that. But the Humidor has had a big effect. Clevenger's going to go out and visit with Dolis. 1-2 the count. Tomorrow, Jeff Francis will open that series at Dodger Stadium against another left-hander by the name of Clayton Kershaw.
Guaranteed seats 2013 for the Yankees, Red Sox fireworks and opening day by purchasing season tickets or a mini plan. So you can request all of that online at coloradorockies.com/2013 tickets.
Game in Arlington's tightened up 9-7 Rangers during the top of the 9th inning. Josh Reddick's hit another home run. He's got 31 now. And the Mariners and Angels are tied at 2 going to the 5th inning. That's Big A. Pulled foul. How about the pitching matchup in Chicago this evening? Tampa will be there to take on the White Sox. The White Sox trailing the Tigers by a game and a half. Tigers won this afternoon behind Doug Fister 5-4 at Comerica against the Royals. The pitching matchup, James Shields 15-9 for Tampa against Jake Peavy.
Peavy skipped a start, or we should say pushed back a couple of days due to some stiffness, so he's going on a couple extra days rest. Look for something to be pretty good coming out of that on.
Back up the middle. Dolis to Castro on the first, a double play, and that's all for the Rockies in the 5th. We turn the page to inning number 6. Rockies 7 and the Cubbies 3. Sports is brought to you by the Ford Edge, class-defining style, revolutionary technology. Ford Edge, go further. By AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. And by your Colorado Hyundai dealers and America's most fuel-efficient car company, Hyundai. That's a pretty view as we make our way back to Lodo. Rockies 7, Cubs 3. Final home game of the 2012 schedule. Rockies will be in LA over the weekend, in Arizona to finish the campaign Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Josh Outman will take over here in the 6th inning. Brett Jackson is scheduled to lead things off.
Outman coming on in this ball game, making a relief appearance. He's 0-2, 532 as a reliever. Come in a couple of tough spots here for the Rockies and been able to get out of a couple of tough innings. He did that against Arizona the other day to help prevent some more damage to happening. So he'll get the left-handed hitting Jackson.
It's our Toyota Talk inning. Great memories over 20 years. Caught the end of that one. I was looking at a note. Was that the Todd Helton jumping in the arms, everybody? Yeah, off of Saito. Playing game against San Diego. Who will ever forget that? Spilborg's walk-off granny. Torrey in Firestone. Torrey's got a bunch of memories. Somebody else writing in about Spilly's walk-off grand slam. Ocasio earlier this year. Absolutely. 0-2 the count on Jackson. Doesn't LeMahieu look a lot like Prince Andrew? I hadn't thought of that, Dave. Elton raising his arms after the Rockies won Game 4 against Arizona to move on to the World Series. That's 3 different mentions of Spilborg's grand slam.
Well, Spilly has 3 phone numbers.
Pretty good hard breaking ball there, fouled off. Game 163 is one of the greatest games I've ever seen. And I really believe, George, I'd say that if I didn't have the bias of being where we are doing what we do.
Well, obviously a lot of excitement, a lot of comebacks, stuff against people that normally don't give up a lot of runs. When you talk about the starters in the game, you're talking about closers in the game. Hall of Fame closer in the game.
Inside. What do we do in the off-season? George grows a beard long and works out of a deer stand.
Well, it's kind of a great deal for me because all my kids are out of the house now. And so I just kind of do what George wants to do. I don't have to go sit in a circle at the grade school or at the junior high or high school. And we don't kids to come out and take them home. Although I enjoy doing all that, I just don't have to do it anymore.
To Pacheco, and Jackson's retired, and that's what I do in the off season primarily.
Sit in a circle and wait on the kids to come out. Go to practice.
Go to practice and games.
I like to really, I study a lot of high school kids and I really like it. And for me, I like to go out and if there's a good basketball game, football game, or I read something in the papers about a great running back in a little small country town, I'll go to that small country town and watch a high school game on a weekend. That's fun for me.
Joe Mather's going to pinch hit here, and that's a strike. Mather pinch hitting for Dolis. The Rangers have held on 9-7. Joe Nathan gets the save for Texas. Rangers improved to 92-64. They're now 4 games up on Oakland. There's still 3 more ball games, though, between those 2 clubs. Now the Angels are in a 2-2 game in the 5th inning with Seattle. If the Angels were to win, they'd be a game behind Oakland in the wild card race.
Crazy.
Here's the 1-2, and Mather's gone. Good pitch by Josh Outman.
Well, after being recalled, they put him in the bullpen. They want to see if he can handle when you're on the plus side with men on base, without men on base, starts of innings. And so far in this ballgame against the Cubs, some pretty feeble swings, 2 quick outs on a ground ball and a strikeout.
Are you more intrigued with Josh in this role, George? Working short?
For me, I think it can be overpowering stuff for him. I know he started in Tulsa, struggled his first 4 or 5 starts, then turned it around and did a nice job throwing the baseball out of the rotation. But I think Josh needed to have a wake-up call. He answered the bell, and it's showing a little better results as he's gotten back here to the big leagues.
Seattle's taken a 3-2 lead on the Angels. Fun time of year. If you are in it. Holiday slide at home plate. Baldo's no-hitter in Atlanta. That was a night I'll never forget. We've been fortunate. We've had a couple of great people to work with, sideline folks and hosts, and Alana and Jenny.
Yeah, I've had a lot of fun this year. I spent some time on the pre and post game shows, and Joe hosting, Mark, Jenny, sitting next door to the Cowboy a lot of nights, Jeff Houston. It's a lot of fun sitting out there doing those.
2-2's in the dirt, 3-2. Tell you a memory of mine too, Georgia. The Rockies go to San Diego. This on the ground is short. And it was the 14th inning, I believe. And a nice job getting the tag by Pacheco on the high throw from Josh Rutledge. Brad Hopp going deep, left on left, in the middle of the night in San Diego, where it would take a cannon to hit it out.
Nice job, Pacheco. Another move.
Home game of the year of the fan. There's my guy, Herb Shankman, behind me, pitching the Boston Braves organization, works up here in the Wells Fargo area. And I wanted to talk a little bit about Jim Tracy, and that today is the 32nd anniversary of the third and final home run he hit as a big leaguer with the Cubs when he played in Chicago. He hit all three within the span of a week. And when you kind of dig into it, this is interesting. He's the only Cub since 1974 to hit all three of his home runs leading off an inning. They all happened at Wrigley Field. And Drew and George, you were talking about pitchers winning 100 games, and I think you were comparing it to 100 home runs in a year. His home runs all came off pitchers that won 100 or more games. Those pitchers were Dick Ruthven, Jim Bibby, and Bill Gullickson. And today was the anniversary of hitting one off Jim Bibby.
Hey, Mark,
1-0 game.
You know, you do a good job on hunting down numbers and everything.
Right.
I want to know how many 6-inch hot dogs have been sold at the park and how many 12-inch hot dogs. Because I got a bet with Marino. He says you can't find out. I'm saying you can.
I'm on it, Frage.
I got. Hold on a second.
Footlongs are the 6.5 foots.
That's right.
Mark, two things. First of all, on the baseball field, Chris Nelson's unconscious. Another base hit. He's 2 for 2, and he was hit by a pitch. I don't know how you do it, because it's like you walk down the concourse, you bump into somebody. Next thing you know, you have their family tree, and it's, oh yeah, there's Uncle Joe who played in the D League back in 1948 in the old St. Louis Browns
I talk to Herb all the
organization.
time. He played with the Boston Braves like 60 years ago, and played up in Montreal.
We just visit, don't we, Mark?
Right.
We just visit with people.
That's like last night, Frage, when you said, Rob Scahill got the job for his girl. I said, Frage knows things.
See,
that's why I didn't doubt you.
All right, go find the hot dogs.
You know,
I want to know.
Like that.
I want to know how many hot dogs we've sold this year.
I'll find out. Give me about a half
I'll bet you he finds out.
Hold on, Mark. Hold on, one more thing. I want to see how good you are. You see that gentleman? We're going to zoom in on him. See, he's about to have a bite of that hot dog. He played some ball somewhere. Where was it?
Like what organization?
Yeah, well,
I think he was with the Tribe back in the day.
He was? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right.
That's a check swing, and the ball gets away from Clevenger, and Chris Nelson will move to second base. Nobody out. The Rockies up 7-3 as they bat in the 6th inning. Stout's unbelievable. He could be like an investigator.
He is. What do you mean could be? That's what he does. Investigative reporting. That's what he does.
In baseball, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Good swing by McBride.
I'll bet you he gets the hot dog answer. You want to bet?
See, that's what.
It may be like 2 or 3 days from now, and you'll be in L.A. and you go, hey, remember Frazier asked me about the hot dogs? Let me tell you how many were sold.
You're right. But he and Marino cut from the same cloth. A thirst for knowledge,
Marino,
however irrelevant.
Did all of you guys go to Ithaca? Because you all act alike.
No, he's a Dayton Flyer, Marino is.
You kind of got a little angry when I asked that.
Well,
see, I like this.
Look,
I like
he's working.
Keep going.
Look at that.
Let's go, Mark. Find out. Hurry up, Mark. Come on.
He's got
Kill
some
it
pep
daylight.
in his step.
Put your earpiece in so I can hear you.
You
can hear me.
He's like, stay with me. He's with Crash. Stay with me. We got to figure out how many hot dogs have been sold.
And Crash is going, well, come help carry this camera and I'll stay with you.
Really? McBride's gone. DJ LeMahieu hit a 2-run home run in the 2nd. Bounced to short his last time up. Nelson at second with 1 out. Alberto Cabrera on the hill. Strike to count. Cabrera in his 24th big league team. He's been in the Cubs organization since 2005. Cubs have rolled some guys out of that bullpen the last couple of days, George, with some good arms.
Really good arms, waiting to see the consistent results. It hasn't happened yet.
7-3, fouled off again by LeMahieu. And a line drive's got to get down. It won't. Soriano makes the catch. LeMahieu squared it up, but it's a line out to left. 2 gone. And Josh Outman will get to swing the bat.
Reports out there, Bo Porter will now be the next manager of the Houston Astros. Did you say that already?
Well, we did it. You had stepped away. We did a whole news and notes segment. Manny Acta was let go in Cleveland. George,
so what's going to happen to Ozzie? Did he get whacked yet?
No. Bobby Valentine quoted yesterday saying, "I haven't heard anything, so I assume I'm coming back."
Yeah, he said that again this morning. But Ozzie, I mean, well, it won't take me long to leave Miami. All I got to do is pack my clothes. I didn't bought a house. I just rented. Well, okay, Ozzie, go ahead. Just keep bringing it on.
He's a character, but you knew what you were getting with Ozzie.
Well, you don't ask to be fired like that,
though. Ozzie does things his own way. And I would assume that either Ozzie or Heath Bell will be gone. One or the other going forward.
Talking about Terry Francona again with the Indians and Tigers. Jim Leland leaves. There's also a big push for Sandy Alomar Jr. with the Indians to get that job.
Well, he's got the interim tag right now. And Outman a strikeout victim, and that's all for the Rockies in the 6th inning. To the 7th we go. Chris Nelson had a base hit left at second. Rockies +4 on the scoreboard. Time for the Excel Energy high efficiency inning. 6th inning for Josh Outman. He was quick and efficient. Brett Jackson hit a weak ground ball to first base. George Pacheco made the play. Joe Mather pinch hit. He didn't like that slider very much. He was gone. And then David DeJesus with a ground ball to short. Nice leaping tag by Pacheco at first. Learn about energy efficiency and how to save money in your home by visiting responsiblebynature.com. Darwin Barney in the 7th inning will face Josh Outman. Wasn't it a little interesting, George, that Ottavino and Outman were warming up together? Now Ottavino's up again. So
there's some left-handers that were there. And I think you wanted Josh to face them, and you've got Rizzo who could hurt you with the long ball in the on-deck circle. You want to face him.
Well, there's your answer then.
Jim is all about matchups and guys having success. Tries to put them in their best possible position to get through the inning and have success.
Well, I'll tell you what, this could be a special day for that man, George. Darwin Barney.
Why?
Because the major league record, Placido Polanco, for consecutive games at second without an error. He already has a National League record. The major league record set by Polanco is 141 games, and if he doesn't make a miscue today, I want to jinx him. Will be 141 straight. He's already handled a couple of plays today.
So let me ask you a question,
please.
Let's say he grounds out here, and they take him out of the game. Would he have the record?
Yes. Ground ball to Rutledge, and he just did get Barney. One gone. Anthony Rizzo coming up. One 1-0 on Anthony Rizzo, a home run back in the third inning, couple walks also. That's nasty right there.
Coors Field available for year-round special events. Drew's going to have his birthday here next year when he turns 40. Most areas of the ballpark can be reserved. Call 303 Rockies for more information.
Look on the schedule. I may be having my 40th birthday here next year.
So we ought to go ahead and have the 50th to get them both out of the way at the same time.
You're a dog.
No, not really.
He's trying to catch you.
Well, I hope you don't.
I hope I don't either.
Hope you keep trailing.
I hope.
For a few years.
You know what? I hope we just keep plugging along.
Yeah, there you go.
2-2 on Rizzo. Rizzo without a hit in this series till today. Only throws out a base hit there. So with one out, he's aboard for Soriano. One of those games where the Rockies scored a bunch early, George, 7 in the first 3 innings. Bagels up on the scoreboard since then, and here comes Jim Tracy, and the afternoon's rolling along. It's pleasant, and you just worry that don't fall asleep because the Cubs are not out of it.
No, by no means. Just 4 runs down, and you're in the heart of this lineup. You got to get a base hit last time. Ottavino's going to get a shot at Soriano as he makes the jog in from the Rockies bullpen.
Rockies up 7-3. Texas look back. There have been several home runs, and the Rockies have the lead. They have more home runs. Pacheco, a 3-run home run in the first, his 5th of the year. Then in the second inning, how about DJ LeMahieu? Got it over the left field wall. Third inning, Anthony Rizzo would take shots deep. A solo home run. Rockies up 7-3. This guy at the plate is no stranger to home runs. Alfonso Soriano, slider, strike one from Adam Ottavino. That's brought to you by Cooney Lexus, our look back, where luxury has an address, South Broadway in Littleton.
31 and 105. That's what's happened. But right-handers, he's been very effective. Ottavino, 237 average. Opening pitch slider, then came back with an elevated 94-mile-an-hour fastball.
High fly ball, right field. McBride will have plenty of room. And that's the second out.
Well, you know what? I sent Mark Stout out to find out half 6-inch hot dogs, 12-inch hot dogs, find out how many have been sold. Mark, what do you have for me?
What I have is Craig. Craig, what's your job?
I'm the executive chef here, of course.
Executive chef. How many foot-long hot dogs made today?
About 15,000.
15,000. Rocky dogs are the 6-inch ones. The regular dogs, how many?
Actually, the Rocky dogs are the foot-long ones. The regular ones, we did about 5,000 of those today.
15,000, 5,000.
Well, how many for the year?
It's a lot.
What would you estimate for the year?
Oh, gosh.
I mean, is it that many?
It's in the hundreds of thousands, I would estimate.
How many is Frazier?
Gotta be.
And Mark, ask him if he's as an executive chef, you should taste all foods. So has he tasted a hot dog today?
You taste all the foods here?
I do, every single day.
Hot dog today, pretty good?
Hot dog was good today.
See, there you go.
You ever put mayonnaise on yours?
No, not me. No, I'm a ketchup mustard guy.
All right. Frage.
Well, he needs to work on it.
He said work on that. You might
like it.
Takes a while. You might come around.
It's an acquired
Hey,
taste.
Craig, thanks.
Thanks.
There you go, Frage.
See, thank you, buddy.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
15,000 foot long hot dogs. 5,000 regular hot dogs.
It's like $1.6 million for the year.
Starlin Castro, 2 outs and a man at first.
1,215,000 foot long. 405,000 6-inch.
Hey, Mark, what we want you to do now is find the guy that changes the light bulbs when one of the lights, the big lights in the stadium go out, and who gets to climb up
up in a light tower.
Yeah.
You're talking about a light tower.
The light tower.
Yeah, find out who does that.
He's off.
Atta baby, hurry! You only got 2 innings, Stout.
7-3 Rockies. Of the 7th inning, the Rockies will have the top of the order. Hear from our very own Cowboy every week. by visiting the Write 'em Cowboy section of the Root Sports website. The Hall of Famer Tracy Ringlesby will bring you Rockies game notes, interesting insights into the Rockies and also the Wyoming Cowboys.
That guy doesn't know, but when it turns past September 1st, you don't wear straw.
Well, Cowboy will straighten you out on that
Tracy
as well.
will straighten you out on that.
Visit the Cowboy on rootsports.com/Rocky Mountain. That's our website. Josh Rutledge is 1 for 3. Stepping in against Alberto Cabrera. Second inning of work for Cabrera on the ground. One hop to third. Valbuena across the infield. And Charlie Blackman will come up. Hey, make your way to Taco Bell tomorrow. Rockies have hit that magic number. Get there between 4 and 6. You get your Rockies Tacos special. Charlie bunt single in the first, a ground ball to first in the second, and a fly ball to center in the fourth. 7 runs, a dozen hits for the Rockies. 3 runs, 8 hits, no errors for the Cubs. Rockies have played cleanly defensively also. Looking for their 4th straight win. And to close out the home schedule with a victory, and as is the Rockies' tradition, at the end of the ball game, the Rockies players, coaching staff will make their way around the warning track to personally thank the fans and hand out some souvenir jerseys. Two gone. Jordan Pacheco, the hitting machine, will come up. Jordan, a 3-run home run, a single, and a run scored in the third. And they got him out on a fly ball to right in the 5th. Pacheco's average with the 2 hits today up to .310. I have this as the 480th plate appearance for Pacheco, which means he needs 22 more over his last 6 games. And typically, you're going to get at least 4 at bats a game. So, George, he should get to that 502 number.
Yep, should be able to get to that number. Be included, I think, within the top 10. The way he's been going here on this homestand could be better than that.
One and 2 on Pacheco, and this could be an infield hit. Valbuena with the bare hand. Nice play by Valbuena. 1, 2, 3 inning for Cabrera in the 7th. To the 8th we go. The Rockies ahead 7-3. Only play is to do it with your bare hand. He did it, and he did it well. ballpark fare. Thanks, dude. What did I owe you? In the ballpark, at the corner at 20th and Blake. Rex Brothers is going to take the baseball here in the 8th inning. Luis Valbuena, Steve Clevenger, and Brett Jackson are scheduled.
Matt Blau started throwing down in the bullpen for the Rockies. Could be Jim wanted to get used. These guys haven't pitched a couple of days. Get them out on the mound.
Josh Vitters is going to pinch hit for Valbuena. Josh has started the last couple of days at third base. So the left-handed hitting Valbuena called back, and Vitters takes strike one. Oh, and 2. $30,288 final ball game of the year at Coors Field. It's a real good afternoon showing. One, 2, 2 and 2.
What's he taking down? Russell, what are you taking downstairs?
You know what? He's multitasking, though. George has got his ice cream with him. They're not going to they're not shooting one of those super slow-mo things on the
where he's
Mike Shaw Super deal. Yeah, they're not doing that to him.
I don't think so.
That would be right. But I know the geniuses in the truck, they think that'd probably be clever, so that they've now written that down as something to do
next
future.
Year.
Yeah.
Give yourself one of those pie faces.
Yeah. With a big ice cream cone. Russell, you can say no.
Russell, I guess you can't hear us, but you're getting ripped pretty good up here. By Drew, not me. I'm talking about ice cream and all the other good things.
Anthony Recker's going to pinch hit. Center field, and Colvin makes a nice running catch. That ball was well hit by Recker. And Dale Swaim's going to go to his bench one more time. Dave Sapelt's going to pinch hit for Brett Jackson. Sapelt has been batting leadoff for the Cubs the last couple of days. In fact, hit his first big league home run the other night against Jorge De La Rosa. 2 outs, nobody on. Rex Brothers to Dave Sapelt. The crowd of 30,288 brings the season total to 2,630,458. The Rockies hang on here. This is their 160th contest all time against the Cubs. And it's close. This would be their 79th victory against 81 defeats. It would also push them 5 games above 500 here in Denver. Nelson is going to give it up and let Rutledge try to throw out Zappelt, but didn't matter who fielded that one. It was going to be an infield hit, so Dave Zappelt's on. And we'll get another pinch hitter. 4 in a row. When was the last time you saw that?
Not very often at all. And Jim Tracy's watching this bench empty out of what they have to go with. Castillo, the last catcher on the bench, will now pinch hit. Recker thought would more than likely take over after Castillo caught 2 night games and a day game today.
Fastball missed at 95, and Willeen Rosario is going to jog out. 2 outs. Zappelt at first base. Here's another note on if the Rockies win this ball game, they'd finish 500 against the Central Division. They're 18-19 currently. They went 5-1 against Milwaukee. They did not do well against the division champ Cincinnati, 1-5. Season's always strange. You know, a team like the Rockies have struggled this year. They've got 94 losses right now. Team all year that's been one of the top teams in baseball, the Washington Nationals. Rockies took this season series from them. So go figure, huh? Swung on and missed. Brothers strikes out Wellington Castillo. Middle of 8, the Rockies continue to hold a 7-3 lead. Were pinch hit for, so we've got a bunch of changes. So David DeJesus, who's a natural center fielder anyhow, will move over there. Dave Zappelt's in right field. And we go next to third base. Josh Vitters for Valbuena at third. Clevenger was pinch hit for. Anthony Recker is behind the plate. And we have a new pitcher as well. Chapman's in the ball game.
Brought up from Double-A at the end of the season, September 7th. 10 ball games he's pitched in. 9 1/3, 8 walks, 10 strikeouts. Like a lot of young pitchers come to the big leagues, they have a little bit of a struggle keeping the strike zone. Hitters have better eyes. They don't chase the ball out of the zone, and curveball's in the dirt, so that's what some of that pitch count starts to climb. But he'll come on here in the 8th inning to try to get Rosario, Colvin, and Nelson.
Couple hits today for Willeen. He's got the average to 277. Rosario's average coming into the ball game 291 at home, 254 on the road. The highest road average for a Rocky is DJ LeMahieu. LeMahieu's hitting 290 on the road, 296 at home. 3-0 and a 4-pitch walk. He said he was having trouble throwing strikes consistently. He hasn't thrown one yet. Colvin coming up. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Colorado Rockies, may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Colorado Rockies. Tyler Colvin 1 for 3. Chapman's 1-0. Finally a strike. It's 1-1. Looking at some of the home road splits. Josh Rutledge entering play today. 288 at home, 288 out on the road. Pacheco's hit a very respectable 270 on the road.
And some people think that the league has found out what Rutledge is doing. That's why his average has dropped in September. I attribute it to the fact that he's played an extra month of baseball that he's never played in his life. And the number of at-bats for Rutledge combined between Double-A and then here also, playing every single day. And it's, you know, he said, hey, it was 108 to 110 degrees every day in Tulsa. We were in a pennant race. I never came out of the lineup there. Not going to come out of it here.
It's hitting around 290. I don't think you need to explain yourself. Your first time in the big leagues, hitting around 290 with pop and stealing bases, and having the responsibility of most days playing shortstop. Nice play.
Reached up and snagged it. Saved all those people right behind him.
3-2 on Colvin, and with Rosario moving, it's fouled back. We've been locked in at 7-3 since the 4th inning. Rockies got 3 in the first, 2 in the second, 2 in the third. Single runs for the Cubs in the second, third, and fourth against Chacin. Nothing since then. Pens have been good. Chacin worked 5 innings, allowed the 3 runs. Chris Volstad just 3 innings. He gave up 7 runs on 10 hits. It won't help his 6.22 ERA entering the ball game. Swung on a miss, throw to second on a hop, and it's a good enough throw by Recker to cut down Rosario. 2 outs. That'll bring up Chris Nelson.
Exactly right. I mean, this ball, his feet didn't come out from underneath him. He just threw it straight in the ground. It started Castro. Nice pick out there at shortstop as he was covering the bag. It hit out in front, made a little longer hop, and they're able to get Rosario. 5th time Rosario's been caught, been successful 4 times.
In tight on Chris Nelson. Nelly's got the average over 300 with the 2 hits today. Also hit by a pitch. He's at 304, 7 for 10 against the Cubs here in this series. Out of play. Nelly overall on the homestand hitting .440. He's driven in 5 and he scored 5. Here's the 1-1 on Chris. 2-1. The current Rockies this year, Nelson has the highest average with runners in scoring position, and this ball's well hit to right, and making a catch up above his head was Sapel. Turns into a 1-2-3 inning despite the walk. So we go to the 9th inning. Rockies looking for 3 more outs, up 7-3. Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. And by Ram Trucks. Feel the power of Ram Trucks now during Ram Power Days. Top of the 9th inning. Final home game of 2012. Rockies in charge 7-3. And for a preview of what's to come after the ball game, the ubiquitous Mark Stout. Mark?
You know what, Drew? It's going to be a fun Toyota post-game show. The hits, they just keep on coming for the Rocks. Another day of double-digit knocks for the Rocks. How about 89 on the homestand? And there's the bicycle. What, you don't know what the bicycle is? It's when you get gypped out of some at-bats because of a rain-shortened game, and then you come back 2 days later and you hit for the cycle like DJ LeMahieu. Well, that's what I put in my box score anyway.
Bicycle.
And fan appreciation. We'll have some fun with the fans and the players in this final home game Toyota post-game show right after the ball game. Drew?
And where did you find out who changes the light bulb?
I didn't find that out yet, Frazier. I had a lot on my plate today.
I know. I just try to keep you busy.
Can we hold that over to 2013?
Absolutely.
You make a list in the offseason, actually, you know?
That'll be a carryover. You can see Fowler's now in center. Colvin is in right field. So it's an outfield of Blackman, Fowler, and Colvin. And on the hill, our friend Matt Palau.
The right-hander been touched up a little bit last Sunday. 27 pitches in there. You know, Matt wears those losses and difficult outings really hard on his sleeve, and it's a carryover. But the reason he's as good as he is, second in the league with 77 appearances right now, is the ability to forget about that, come right back and get ahead, work ahead, and have some fun in this game of baseball.
And just in case, Rafael Betancourt and Josh Renicky. De Jesus in the ninth inning, leading things off for the Cubs. David is 0 for 4, and he takes a strike again. It's 0-2. Mariners now up 6-2 in the seventh inning on the Angels. The Angels had a chance to pick up a game on the A's. That's a base hit for De Jesus.
0-2 count.
Darwin Barney. Oh for 4 as well today. And since it's doubtful, we hope that the Cubs have to go out and play defense, Darwin Barney will tie a major league record today, George, because he was flawless defensively again. 141 straight errorless games at second base, tying the big league record set by Placido Polanco not all that long ago. Polanco did it in 2009 with Detroit.
Well, and expand
Actually,
the record also.
I think he did it in 07. Let me correct that. He did it in 07 with Detroit.
Plus, he got a few days to go ahead and keep correct and maybe add to the record for a while.
Yes.
Tie and add on.
He's had a solid year with the bat also. 7 home runs, 44 driven in. Now the 260 mark. Slightly above the league average. The league average is 255. Add everybody up. That's what the average guy hits, 255. That's why when you talk about 290, 295, 300, that's special territory. In fact, at Pacheco, and assuming he gets the requisite at bats, George, over the next 6 days, and he's on pace to do that. Right now, he would be 6th in the league in hitting. The averages have come down. The home runs have come down since the implementation of more stringent drug testing. And other factors as well. On the ground towards second, LeMahieu dives, and that's all he's going to get. He just knocked it down. And now they're 2 on and nobody out. You're in the middle of that lineup. Rizzo coming up, 2 for 2, including a home run, couple of walks. Soriano behind him.
It's a lot why Jim Tracy decided to get both guys up behind Belisle, because he has scuffled a little bit of late. But again, on a Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo, the ball hits the glove and it pops out as LeMahieu hit the ground. Both left-handers, with the exception, well, you still have Reynolds. He's not up in the bullpen for the Rockies. It is Renicky and it is Betancourt.
One and one. Belisle ahead of Rizzo, 1 and 2. Rosario won it, so did Matt.
It looked like a really good pitch. You'll see on the strike zone, though, a little bit outside that boxed area.
Leadoff single by DeJesus. Darwin Barney an infield hit. 2 on, nobody out. Rockies up 4 runs. Rizzo is going to get a base hit also, and coming to the plate is DeJesus, and it's a 3-run game. Nobody out. Let's see what Jim Tracy does. He's got Soriano coming up. Castro behind him. The 2 most distinguished bats in that Cubs lineup. And you got the tying run up right now. Jim Tracy is going to go and get his closer, Rafael Betancourt. Three straight singles for the Cubs here in the 9th inning. Seven, 4. Even at a dozen, but the Rockies have a problem here in the 9th inning. There's a run in, there's 2 runners on. Soriano's coming up, and without anybody out, the Rockies have now summoned their closer, Rafael Betancourt, and your big swing from being tied. It's been a very good year at the back end of the bullpen for Rafael Betancourt. He, particularly in the second half, has been able to go out there and work some 9th innings. Didn't get called on much in the first half.
25 ball games, 154 earned run average, 15 of 16 and save opportunities. Like to see it shut down here. He and Soriano have met up 3 times, 0 for 3 in their careers. We'd like to see a double play ball. How about a little strikeout and go to the house?
Now this is different, George. I don't recall many times this year, I guarantee it's less than a handful, that Rafael has come in the middle of an inning with traffic. It's generally he starts the inning clean.
Betancourt this year has only an inherited 8 base runners. 5 of the 8 have not scored. That's 63%. Most starters, or excuse me, most closers will start a clean inning at the top,
Nobody on base. It's all started with Tony La Russa and Dennis Eckersley back in the late 80s.
Line drive over the head of Chris Nelson. That'll get another run home. It'll end up being a double. And now the Cubs, with nobody out, are a base hit from tying this up.
Very good fastball hitter. Guy likes the ball down in the zone with that low crouch. Went down and got the fastball off of the hands of Betancourt and shot it over Chris Nelson at third base. Just out of his reach into the corner. One run's going to score. As Drew mentioned, second and third now. And nobody out.
106th RBI. For Soriano. Castro has driven in at 77. Pops this up out of play. Here's the good news. If you can get Castro, George, the lineup, at least in performance so far this year, drops off considerably. You have Vitters on deck, who's hitting close to 100.
Recker follows, and then Sapelt. So it does favor the Rockies situation here.
But again, Soriano doesn't run like he used to, but he still runs plenty well enough. 0-2. Again, he's the tying run at 7-5. It's very unusual on a base hit at Coors Field to catch a runner from second, because the outfield is so big and you have to play deeper than most ballparks. Betancourt, who strikes out a hitter per inning. Would love a punch out right here. Here's the 0-2. Swung on and missed, and he gets it on Castro, who's left talking to himself as he walks off.
He got 3 fastballs away and challenged in the at-bat. Betancourt won the battle. That's why he's looking. He got a lot of balls to hit. The last up, but it got by him. 92. Yeah, Betancourt, Bilal, best buddies. That's what you want to do. Pick your buddy up when you come in out of the bullpen like this and shut the door.
Josh Vitters came into the ball game last inning, and he hit a hard ground ball right at the first baseman Pacheco. That's a strike at 93. A little bit of late season adrenaline rush for Rafael Betancourt.
All of his pitches offered here in the ninth have been strikes. 6 straight. Base hit and a strikeout. Shadows play in the favor of Betancourt now also.
0-1. Just missed 1-1. George, what you just mentioned is one of the reasons you absolutely have to love Betancourt. We pointed it out numerous times. If you're going to beat him, and he gets beat like any reliever, you're going to beat him swinging the bat. It's not going to be walk, and a bloop single, and oh man, what a tough day.
The position he's in as a closer, you can't have what Drew's talking about. Walk, bloop hit. You've got to be a strike thrower, and that's just what he is.
This is fouled off. It's out of play, and it's a 1-2 count. You will not find a man more focused than Rafael Betancourt. And he could care less what the record is right now. Until it's time to go home, he's going to be as professional as if the Rockies' record was flipped and it was 94-61 as opposed to 61-94. Soriano's double and has gotten the Cubs within 2. 1-2 on Josh Vitters. He's got him. 2 outs.
And after the base hit to Soriano, he's gone after 2 younger players with dead red heat. Blew it by him every time so far. Even though this ball a little bit elevated, it was by the bat of Vitters.
So now with 2 outs, Soriano will come out of the ball game. They will put Speed out at second. Campana will go out and run. Tony Campana will run for Soriano at second.
Anthony Recker at the plate. And a slow ground ball up the middle. Rutledge on the move. Pickett first, out there. What a play by Pacheco. And the Rockies win their home finale. What a job by Rafael Betancourt. That's a feel-good finish to the Coors Field portion of the 2012 schedule. What a job by Betancourt. Couple of punch-outs and a weak ground ball that was a difficult play for Rutledge.
It really was. Right back up the middle. Got to get himself collected, but more difficult because of the long hop out front. One, and as the ball came up, look at the concentration on Pacheco and being able to pick this. Outstanding.
Jolie Chassin gets the win. Chris Volstad takes the loss, and Rafael Betancourt gets his 31st save. This was well done.
Very well done on both ends.
And I'll tell you what, if he just somehow like knocks that down and hits the heel of the glove, you got to wheel at turn, because Campana can fly, and he may have been coming around third base. Nothing you have to worry about now. The Rockies win it 7-5. They sweep the Cubs. They have a 4-game winning streak going to end the 2012 campaign at Coors Field. Time for our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. It came in the first inning from the guy we're bragging on right now, George Pacheco, with a 3-run shot to get the Rockies going, his 5th of the year, and it also gave him a 10-game hitting streak. Go to jimmyjohns.com for more. Well, George, you know what? It wasn't supposed to be this exciting in the 9th inning. It was, and a lot of guys stepped forward. And even though this season has been a very difficult one, a very disappointing season, it's a nice way to conclude it in front of more than 30,000 folks.
Yeah, absolutely. Sweep the Cubs. You now have 62 wins. Win one more, you avoid the 100 mark, and I think that plays into it a little bit. You know, these guys appreciate these fans as they walk around, they toss out things. You know, and again, the fans were great. The players have enjoyed. We found an awful lot about some younger players in this organization and what they've done and what they've meant to the organization. And going forward, you know, now there's a few reserves, a few starters that are going to help this club down the stretch.
Well, no question about it, and the Rockies still have some more work to do. 6 games on the road as they visit with the fans on the warning track. We'll come back. Twitter postgame show is next. 7-5 Rockies.